I have heart rate monitor on. You could use your Apple Watch. You could just use your how you feel. But right now, we're kind of at this, barely over resting heart rate number. And so for warming up, trying to think of this driveway workout, like this conditioning workout, I'm gonna go to my clock, okay? And I'm gonna do a. Okay. So now I'm just gonna start the 5 minutes, and I'll go back to my heart rate monitor and I'll just leave it out. First thing I do is, this is my driveway, I'm just gonna start moving through space, getting my body kind of ready for exercise, standing cross crawls. And I'm just like nice and tall, I'm marching in place. I'm not really in a rush, but I'm just trying to get my body kind of slowly transitioning out of watching Netflix, right? And now let's go backwards. No real reason except for me personally when I'm doing stuff. Well, we personally, right? Our attention goes quickly away, so I want to keep things changing and moving just for our brain dome. But there's obviously nothing wrong with repeating exercises. I'm gonna take that up a little bit more, so I'm making it bigger, make it harder. Now I'm into a bigger march, a little more dynamic, and you can already start to hear heart rate is starting to slowly elevate, and I'm getting more function out of my body. So everything's bigger, more hip, more ankle. Now, the clock is going for 5 minutes, and that's my goal, is 5 minutes of movement. I'm not really trying to spend 38 seconds doing marching. I'm just moving through space. Good. Now, make that a little bit bigger. I'm ramping up. Now I'm into a little bit of a jump. Lots of cross body patterns. But I'm starting to get a little more athleticism. What is this called? Something A-skip?
A-skip.
A-skip. Okay. Now I'm going to get the opposite side going, just in place. I'm going to do a reverse cross crawl, which is going to get some of that extension, get those glutes, get those lats going. And the idea is to get my knee behind my body and get the back side of my body fired up. I'm just going to go until I get bored of doing this. 30 or 40 steps. I'm bored of doing that. Now let's get some inside, outside stuff. Nice easy side shuffles. I'm always got my chin up, eyes forward. Make it a little more dynamic, and let's get some internal, external rotation. Karaoke's, grapevines, whatever you want to call them. Left or right, right over left. Anytime you do your back and forth stuff, if you always face one way, you're always even. Right? Okay? Now, let's get a little bit of abs in. Crawl position, knees off the ground by 1 inch, and I'm going to slowly move. The slower I go, and the more I push into the ground, the more abs here, right? We'll give a little reminder. Hey abs, hey abs, hey abs, hey abs. All right, I'm bored of that. I'm gonna go back to my mark. And now, I'm gonna start to get my hamstrings a little open, and I'm basically gonna fake my deadlifts. Hands on thighs, and I push my butt back, feel a hamstring stretch, come back up. Hamstring stretch, come back up. So this is a great alternative to the old school hamstring stretch. as I'm actually kind of putting some motion through my hamstrings and letting them know it's okay to kind of get a little more length out of themselves, a little more stretch, which, by the way, those words don't really mean much because that's not how the body operates, but that's for another video. We're just letting, see how I'm getting a little bit bigger every time? Those hamstrings are magically getting longer, right? We're just letting them take the brakes off a little bit. Oh, what is that? Did you hear? So, that was 5 minutes. And I was kind of in the blue. Heart rate's been raised by about, I don't know, 10 to 15 beats per minute. But I'm a little more ramped up, ready to go. Now, I'm gonna go inside. You can either use the timer that you had. So let's just use a regular timer. Today we're gonna do an interval of a fixed work time, variable rest time. So I'm gonna use a timer as my amount of time to work, but then I'm gonna lose my heart rate to be my variable. So I'm gonna work for 20 seconds, and as soon as my heart rate is back down to 60%, I'm going to go again. This way I'm running the intervals smartly towards how my body's reacting, not to an arbitrary number of rest 20, work 20, rest, work 20, okay? Nothing inherently wrong with that, but that type of interval is called a fixed work, fixed rest. This is a fixed work, variable rest, because I'm gonna let my body be the thing that allows me to know where I should be going and not, okay? So, first things first, we're just gonna work for 20 seconds, and I'm gonna start off with jumping jacks, and then I'm gonna go to my heart rate monitor, and I'm gonna let it be my rest time, okay? So, 3, 2, and go. Now, if the idea is conditioning, the idea is about movement and constant movement. So these are kind of my old school Marine Corps jumping jacks. It's all about speed, not about how big they go. So this amount of work is way different than this amount of work from heart rate. Okay, alarm goes off. Let's check my zone. And it's 68%, 70%. I'm at 130 beats per minute if you're looking at your watch. And so there's a little more heart rate. I'm gonna wait, and I can either just stand and do nothing, or I can pace. And you could set up an interval clock on any app would work, or just a regular timer. Even inside my zone, there's a clock inside there you can use. Good. Now I'm down below again. So go to my clock. It's already at 20 seconds. And I'm going to start. This time I'm doing snap swings. So this is like a kettlebell swing, but I'm using my glutes and my abs. It may look ridiculous, but if I don't have a bell, then this can be a good way. Or if I don't want to be concerned about the skill of a swing, when I'm squeezing my abs, squeezing my glutes, and my alarm goes again. Okay, go back to my zone. 70%, 138. So a little more heart rate that time. So I'm gonna let it come back down to my 60%. Now everyone's different on what they can use for their exercises and how long to rest. So it's really hard to say everyone do 20 seconds of jumping jacks and rest a minute, because how you do the jumping jacks, the intention of the jumping jacks, all change that variable. And our goal is to have an individual, right, our students, to become autonomous, so that they are, yeah, right, big eyes, autonomous. Give you the tools and the skills to be able to do this so that you can make the workouts best for you as an individual. I want to give you a protocol, some examples. So I'm back down to under 60%. That means I need to go again. All right, here we go. And I'm going to use sprinting. Okay, and go. So I'm gonna use my driveway. Trying to keep us at the same good pace. Change the direction is good for increased heart rate. Okay. Now, alarm goes off. Good. Check it. 78%. About 152. And now I'm gonna rest. 78, still up there. 79. Think about intervals and using, I think that a fixed work variable rest is the best combination, because as you can tell, different types of exercise have a different effect on my body. And the other thing, it's a compounding effect. So the more I do, the easier it is to get my heart rate up regardless of the type of exercise. Back to 81%. So heart rate has a after effect, right? So I do exercise and my body says work, 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 work. When I stop, the moments after that are actually when my heart rate gets the highest. And that's why using heart rates can be difficult if I say, well, I'm gonna work to 80%, because once I stop, my body actually goes past that. All right, back down to 61%. Let's go back to our interval clock. 20 seconds. I'll go back to jumping jacks and go. So now you're gonna see is this is my, what, 4th exercise? And I'm back to the first exercise I was doing, but since I've been going longer, it's gonna have a different effect. 20 seconds. Go back to my clock, intervals. 67, 68, 130, 131, 134, 138. So the jumping jacks has less of an effect on my heart rate than the running does, me as an individual. You as an individual, that might change. But I'm gonna just use that same. So now it's gonna take less time to go back down to my 60%. And that's why it's hard to recommend a specific exercise. And that's why variable rest is so good. Back to our clock. What do I do? Just snap swings. 3, 2, go. These are also called speed squats, where you're just trying to go halfway up as fast as possible. Now, this is not a squat for squatting. This is a squat for heart rate. I'm trying to jump off the ground without actually jumping to save my joints, especially on the concrete. Clock. Heart rate. 75% heart rate. Okay. Now, what's the next one? Sprinting, right? I'm letting my heart rate. Okay. And I can stand, I can pace. Now, let's just say that I'm using these 3 things as work. And let's say you're using a heart rate monitor or using your Apple Watch and you're never getting past that 120, 130, 140 range. Well, maybe you need to find a different 20 seconds of work, right? 65, 64. Now I'm back down to 60%. Here we go.
Don't.
And go. Back to shocker, 78%. It will go up to 80%. Now, if I were really trying to make intervals specific and I said I wanted to do 85, 65 intervals, right? Those big gaps. I've learned that 20 seconds of sprinting is enough to make that happen. 20 seconds of jumping jacks doesn't have the same effect. Be it that that may be a similar effect, it may not be as much. So if you're really trying to get this big breath feeling, 85% in the yellow zone, or what they call zone 3, right? Zone 1, zone 3 interval. I've gone through 2 full rounds. That's about 6 sets of intervals. And what I would do is I would just do that. It's been a total time of 12 minutes, I think, something close to that, roundabout. And that would be enough, right? There's nothing saying I need to do more than that. My heart rate is about to go back down to 60% right then. If you'd have had an interval time out for all those rest times, they all would have been different. So using a heart rate is the smartest, healthiest way to make sure you're doing your interval conditioning work best for your body as an individual. And that's what's so important, is that we do it best for ourselves, not best for just, you know, if someone else that was smaller, bigger, lesser, and better shape, their workout would have been different than my workout. Okay, so there's a quick, easy rundown of how to do a driveway conditioning workout. No equipment, no jumping, no burpees, fairly low intensity. You could easily take that the sprinting into a change of direction sprint. So you could just go like halfway back and forth, you know, it's like a power walk for that 20 seconds, and you can figure out how to get that heart rate up for that. So easy 5-minute warm up. And then today's conditioning, this video is called Fixed Work Variable Rest. Our fixed work is 20 seconds. We want to keep it under 30 seconds so that we don't get into dangerous, acidic kind of red zone, well, the unhealthy part of conditioning, right? That whole pukey feeling we want to get away from, because that's what kills all of our, well, kills our sexiness, we'll put it that way without getting too sciencey. So fixed work, variable rest. Work for 20 seconds. You can use the 3 things we used, right? And then run those 2 rounds. You rest until you get down to 60%, or about a 120-ish range, 110, depending on your body, or the ability to talk in full sentences, and then you go again. Repeat that. I would cap that session at 20 minutes. No need to go past that, because you're getting into diminishing effects for the body, and I hope that session goes great.
Talk when you're not facing the camera.
Okay.